Alrighty. Moving on. Shaquille O'Neal got his statue revealed in LA. That was fucking stupid. I apologize for that. And it looks like a pretty badass statue, honestly. There's a picture. It's basically him doing that two-handed dunk with his fucking knees all in the air, like, what's up? About to take a shit on somebody. We've all seen it a bazillion times. Some people hated it when he played. Some people loved it. Beast, though. I like that it's hanging, though. I like that it's not attached to the ground. It's fucking cool. It looks good, man. Looks good. That was a great performance there. Kobe Bryant was there. He spoke. Kareem spoke. Jerry West spoke. It's a fantastic statue. I think it's 10 feet in the air, and it's like 9 feet tall. It's bigger than he is, actually, which is kind of fitting in some ways. But congratulations to Shaquille O'Neal. That's fucking fantastic. A Laker for life. One of the greatest basketball players of all time. One of the most underrated basketball players of all time, Shaquille O'Neal. He was the most dominant player I have ever seen. More dominant than Michael Jordan. More dominant than LeBron James. Pick a name. He was more dominant than any of them. More than Kobe. I mean, he was unfucking stoppable. Crazy. What else has happened? Joel Embiid has surgery to repair his torn meniscus. He'll be obviously out for the season. Hopefully he'll be back next year. This is, a pretty big concern, seeing as he missed his, first 2 full seasons with the foot injury. I guess the only real caveat of this is that it's not going to be the foot injury. It's going to be, the foot seems to be okay. I guess that's definitely better than if it would have been another foot surgery. That would have been a huge blow, especially because of how fucking dominant he's been, man. He has played better than expectations. I'm a huge Joel Embiid fan. I love watching him play. This is really shitty news, and I hope, God willing, that he gets back to full health and becomes the player that he's supposed to be, or that he is. I mean, he really already is this player. Beast of a man. Get well soon. What else happens? Joakim Noah, excuse me. I'm getting all European on you. Suspended 20 games. He was caught with some sort of an androgen receptor modulator, which can sometimes mimic, I guess, anabolic substances. I don't, it's tough to tell. Anabolic shit is actually usually used for recovery in professional sports, NBA, NHL, MLB, that type of stuff. It's not so much used for performance. I mean, a little, you get small performance benefits, but it's mainly a recovery drug, which makes me think at the end of the year, it's not impossible that were the case. Either way, he's going to miss 20 games. I'm not really sure what I think about it. I guess the justice has been done. I guess it's a relatively fair penalty for what was done. I guess we'll have to wait and see what actually comes out in time, and to see if we ever get the real information on what did happen or what has happened. But I guess Joakim Noah, he's going to be out obviously for the rest of this season, I think, and then like 10 games or 9 games or 8 games or something next season, assuming he plays for any team. But his next season is definitely over. Alrighty, moving on. We have basically only one more piece of news from the week. Piece of major news. Maybe I should start writing this stuff a little bit more. But Robin Lopez and Serge Ibaka in a game, Toronto beat the Bulls. They got in a fight, and they fucking decided to throw some hands at each other. They both get suspended 1 game. Both of the suspensions, I think, are over already because they have already served them. But, Lopez and Ibaka throw hands a little bit. I actually don't really remember how it went down. I think Ibaka swung first, and then Lopez reacted. But, yeah, either way, kind of a fucking fritty situation. We haven't seen much like that recently or in the NBA this year. And I don't like it. I really don't like fighting in basketball. I think that you can get tough on the court and shit like that. Or off the court. You want to get fights? Get off the court, but don't do it on the fucking... I don't know. It's fucking stupid. It's obviously cost your team. Not the smartest idea you could ever make. But they're both, especially Ibaka. He's a very good player, and Robin Lopez is a good player, and both of their teams need him. Even though the Bulls aren't, doesn't look like the Bulls are going to be in the playoffs this year unless they can pull it around very quickly. But yeah, I guess that's just kind of my take on that shit. All right, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of the news segment of the show. That's going to bring us to the top motherfucking 10. Alrighty, the top 10 power rankings of the week. We have, starting at number 10, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are down one spot from last week. They had a good week. They went 3-1, winners of one straight game. Just not as good of a week as the team that jumped them. Still are the same team. Have maybe the best player in the league. It's tough to tell, but Russell Westbrook. If ever he could just become a better shooter, he probably would be the best player in the league. They have a damn good, especially, I think that Victor Oladipo is one of the best two guards in the league. He scores about 16 a game, and he's one of the better defenders in the league. Love Victor Oladipo. I love Cantor off the bench, Steven Adams, now Taj Gibson. I like the team a lot. I just don't think they're as good as the number 9 team is looking right now. But Oklahoma City is definitely going to be a team nobody wants to fuck with. They are, I think, just a couple of games out of, let me see here. Yeah, they are, oh, damn. Well, yeah, 1.5 games out of 5th place behind the Clippers. They are a game and a half in front of Memphis now for 6th place. Memphis been struggling a little bit comparatively to these guys here. Looking good. I mean, Oklahoma City is looking pretty fucking good right now. Yeah, they're sitting there at a record of 41-30. I actually think this is better than most people thought they were going to be. I don't think anybody thought that they would be in contention with the Clippers, but that is the case, and they look pretty fucking good. Alrighty, moving on. Number 9, the Toronto Raptors. Up one spot from last week. Last week I had them at 10. Winners of 5 straight games. They go 5-1 in the week, which is crazy. A lot of games, won 5 straight of them. All without Kyle Lowry still. Hopefully he'll be back at the beginning of the playoffs. DeMar DeRozan definitely stepping it up. Defensively, they've been a much better team now. Just that whole big combination, Valanciunas, PJ Tucker, like I already talked about earlier in the show, Serge Ibaka, that combination provides a lot of defense, just a significant amount of defense. PJ Tucker's a shutdown motherfucker. I mean, with the Suns he was, to some extent too, it seemed like, but you never really got to see it as much. Now he is just shutting people down for the Toronto Raptors. That'll be difficult against a team maybe, I don't even know, a team that needs buckets. Maybe it'd have to be a big guy, maybe a Cleveland. That might be difficult for Cleveland to match up against if LeBron is not on his game as much. But they look really good, and especially, the numbers here are as the teams sit right now, just because I can't really judge, and knowing that the player will come back in 2 weeks or something like that, but I can't really judge what type of impact the player's going to have right now. So this team here, I have the number 9 team because Kyle Lowry is not around. If Kyle Lowry was playing right now and playing well, I would probably have them up around the 6th spot. That's where I think I would have them. But the way they are right now, I see them as the number 9 team in the league. All right, I'm moving on to the number 8 team. Oh, I should tell you. Toronto, 44-29. The number 8 team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Down 1 spot from last week. 2 spots the week before. They just look really bad right now. They're losing games they should definitely win. They'll look great for a game, bad for 2 games, slipping. I'm worried that Oklahoma City is actually going to catch them over this last portion of the season. They're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, I think. So, I mean, at least that's good news. But they just don't look like the same team at all that we saw at the beginning of the year or the last couple of seasons either. Definitely healthy, which hasn't been the case all season long. So that's going to be one of the better things moving forward into the playoffs for them, is they definitely are healthy right now. So they kind of know who they are, but they need literally every starting player to step their game up on the team right now. I feel like every single player needs to get better on the team right now, or compared to what they're playing right now, in order to contend for the championship. I mean, that's the whole point, especially for them, a team that's kind of been built that way for 4-5 years, and just has that dynamic. That's what they have been intending to do. What did they do? They went 3-2. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. They went 3-2 during the week. Lost, or no, 4-2 actually. They went 4-2 during the week because of that win last night. Won one straight game, so that's actually a pretty good record, promising there. And they're sitting at 44-30, a half game below Toronto. Alrighty, and we move on to the number 7 team in the league, the Washington Wizards. Up one spot from last week where we had them at number 8. Bad as all hell. I mean, we already talked about him earlier in the day. John Wall is I don't know. John Wall might be my favorite player in the league. I'm not sure. He's fucking sick. I love his handles. Love watching him play. Beal's a stud, man. Beal can shoot the fucking lights out. Just a all-around, well-built team with people coming off the bench. And John Wall is playing the best ball of his career. Bradley Beal playing the best ball of his career as well. This team looks like obviously a matchup nightmare if they can go into Cleveland with all the big three playing and win by 12 and just dominate the lights out, man. Wall was fucking crossing everybody up, taking him to the lane. Wall looked so fast in that game compared to everybody else. I remember at one point he got like this outlet pass, and everybody was kind of like running back to settle the defense, and he just was sprinting and just like between all of the people that were running back and got fouled and made a layup in literally like 2.5 seconds. It was like that LeBron speed coming back to get that dunk in the finals. It was like ridiculous, or come back to get that swat in the finals. It was just incredible fucking speed for a guy that's only 6'4", long arms. The dude's arms are long as fuck, and he finishes great around the basket. I think he's better than Kyrie. Honestly, right now, he's a better player than Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie's the fucking man. I love Kyrie, but he's not as good as John Wall. So I have the Washington Wizards sitting there at number 7. What did I say? 4-2 this week. Winners of 3 straight games. And 45-28, a game ahead of Toronto, a game and a half in front of the Clippers. Okay, we move on to the number 6 team in the league, the Utah Jazz. The only team on this with a losing record this week. They go 1-4 this week, actually. Fall to 44-29, a half game ahead of the Clips. Dead even record as the Toronto Raptors. Depending on how this Gordon Hayward injury goes, this could go one way or the other. Rudy Gobert, though, is monstrous. Right now, he's the best center in the league. He's today, like last night, his 26 and 14. He's playing like the best center in the league. He's huge. He's a dominant force. He's massive. His arms are huge. He's got great hands, good skills down low. What is it? God damn it. George Hill, playing great point guard. One of the more underrated seasons in the league he's having, especially defensively. This is why they can hold with anybody, is they're defensively great. Gobert, the best shot blocker in the league. George Hill, great on-ball defender, great defender, point guards. As if Gordon Hayward can play, I mean, they just have all the right pieces, and they have a great home court advantage with the elevation, and just like kind of the weird rabid nature of Salt Lake basketball. If you've never been to a game there, it's much more intense than one might imagine. Salt Lake is a huge basketball city. People love basketball. That's why that's the one professional sports team they have. But yeah, Nobody wants to play them. The Clippers